Bum 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 da 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 da. In today's episode of World Explorers, which Isaac and Casey do something they've never done before, and that is point to random stuff in a book and build an entire world out of it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of World Explorers, where we take some sort of wacky, crazy, or interesting concept and build an entire fantastical world out of it. And I am joined here today with somebody who has somehow put up with my humor for far longer than humanly possible. Casey.
I mean, anyone who's watched.
Also, I'm Isaac.
Anyone who's watched or I guess listened to our podcast for any period of time has put up with your humor and mine for longer than we expected. So.
Okay, so Casey actually promised that she would have a prompt this week, and by Casey promised, I mean I put her on the spot last week, telling her that she has to come up with a prompt. And so she is actually going to be doing the prompt for this episode, whereas I'm usually the one that starts us off with a world. So I have been dubbed the prompt master, and so I suppose this makes you the prompt apprentice.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, well, the thing is, I don't technically have a prompt. I have a book in front of me instead. Okay?
Oh, you're cheating, I see.
Yes. So you're going to give... So I have in front of me the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. Now, the best part about this book is that the titles are ridiculous. They're hilarious. They're one of the best parts about the book. So, what I'm going to have you do is pick a page number. I'm going to flip to that. And whatever the title is, we have to work with those words to create a world out of it. And if we find we're running out of inspiration, we can pick another title and mesh them together.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you couldn't come up with a prompt. So what you're doing is you're having us get a randomized prompt, and then you're going to have me pull one out of a bunch of random words, so really I am still coming up with the prompt.
Yeah, I found the loophole.
286.
286. Okay, you didn't even ask how many pages my book has.
I did it, but if it's every one of their fairy tales, I'm going to guess it has at least 286.
Oh, it does. You're good. You could go up to 652. So, you were safe.
653.
Yeah, no. There isn't a 600. I guess it's an owl, because it's the end page, paper thing, which has an owl on it. It's got some woods. There's a castle in the background.
Okay, so we world build with an owl.
No, actually, the page you picked before was Brother Lustig, which I don't remember what the story was, but something about soldiers. So, Brother Lustig was a soldier who went with St. Peter, so it was a religious war. So we have a main character.
Build a world out of this?
I don't know. We just we can do another prompt, and we can find
story building, not world. There is a difference between story building and world building.
Oh, I'm about to tell you, got Brother Lustig. There are some fun ones here. If you want to try another one and see if we can get one that's not a name.
Okay, 42.
42. Thank you for staying out of the fable section and going back to the fairy tale section. Okay, it's little brother and little sister. Is this a world where there's only two parents and they're all siblings? So there's
that's weird to think about.
I mean, yeah, so but it just means
siblings not fall in love with each other.
No, it's just there's two parents who are the gods of the world, and they sit up, and then you have the siblings, and they just bring people in. It's like a Veggie Tales. That got that tree, that little snitz thing that goes down the tree. Do you remember that from Veggie? That's Veggie Tales, right?
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
There's this story, a little side story in it's Veggie Tales, where I don't know what they're called, but they have this tree, and every now and then maybe it's not Veggie Tales, maybe it's something similar. but they come down the tree, and and they're created by the tree. So like, there's no relationships to have kids. It's just they're created.
The only thing I'm thinking of here is Tinkerbell.
That's similar to having that, a world where everyone's just siblings.
I was thinking if there's only like two parents and everybody's siblings, what came to my mind was we're world building a beehive.
Well,
or an ant hill.
Well, that's true. I mean, but humans, like human intelligence. So they're as intelligent as humans are, and they're doing it.
The Bee Movie.
We.
Except that movie was made with less than human intelligence.
I can't judge it because I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
That's okay. You don't need to see it.
Yeah, that was my thoughts when I saw the reviews. I'm like, you know what, this is one I could skip out on.
I remember watching it as a kid and enjoying it. My mom absolutely loves it. Then all at once everybody started posting memes about it and how awful it was. I'm like, was it really that bad? I don't remember it being bad. I then rewatched it many, many, many years later and realized why everyone was hating on it so much, and it is not good.
Isn't it like the bee has a love relationship with a human?
Kind of. They never really...
Well, they can't.
They don't have, like, they don't kiss or anything.
I mean, they can't. She would just eat it.
Implied, kind of.
Ew. See, there would be none of that in this world.
There's even a conversation about it where his parents think that he's going out with the human, which, given some of their lines, you could say, yes, he is.
Ew.
What's the lifespan of a bee again?
Yeah, it doesn't
matter. They
had
an entire joke in the Bee Movie about the lifespan of a bee.
Look, okay, I get. Look, we're not doing the Bee Movie, okay? We're doing humans who so these are humans or human-like creatures who come into existence via either like a magical tree, or we could do like the Tinkerbell thing where they come via something else, or two god creatures that have the kids and then they just don't have kids themselves. There's lots of options with it.
I like the idea. I've always liked the idea of some occurrence in the world causes the birth of something, like Tinkerbell, when a baby laughs for the first time, a new fairy is born.
Yeah.
I like that.
True, I always thought that was really sweet.
Every time a bell rings, a fairy gets its wings. And every time someone says I don't believe in fairies, they die.
Dun dun dun!
It's a circle of life.
Okay, so... Alright, so one thing we could do, we could pick another page number, and whatever, like, story, whatever title we get for that, we can try to fit and make that the thing that brings them to life.
Okay, so what's a fun number here?
No. Did you say
555.
555.
No.
What?
Yeah, 555. You don't go up to 660.
No, there is no 666. We've been over it. Just picture now.
Yeah, 555.
Okay, so it's the willow. So it's about a willow tree. So we have to incorporate a willow tree somehow.
So they're birthed from a willow tree somehow. How about when spring comes and the flowers on the willow tree bloom?
Willows don't have flowers.
As the flowers fall, or petals fall, or whatever,
they don't.
Maybe those turn into a person. I don't know.
Do willows flower? I didn't think willows flowered. Okay, so
Hold on.
I didn't think they did. I mean, another thought is, like, a willow tree is known for its, represents, like, sadness and sympathy. Like, its leaves are said to give you the ability to sympathize with people better, is one of the things they do. So, I mean, we could do it in the sense of, like, every tear that falls underneath a willow becomes one of the... So there wouldn't be many of these guys, because I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, Willow trees, I just looked it up. They do flower, but they aren't normal-looking flowers. They're kind of odd-looking.
I don't remember.
Somewhere between a flower and a stem.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's something to do with sadness, with mourning. Maybe when one person dies, that causes the birth of another person.
Oh, so it's just, but they're different people, so it's just a set number of people, and then they come from the willow tree. So
So something I just thought about. Maybe there is only so many people in the world that when a person dies, a new person is born from the willow tree. Now, what I'm thinking is maybe there is some way to kill a person or to die without a new person being born, and so maybe there's something keeping these people in line, or somehow so it might be like something that people need to avoid, because once they all die in some way where they can't be reborn, suddenly the world no longer has any population.
Yeah, or at least no
and maybe
high intelligence population, I guess.
Yeah, and then the other thing I'm wondering is, where did the first people come from? And maybe that is a way to very, very slowly repopulate the world.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting idea too. I don't know. The thing is, just so you know, whenever you want, you can shout a number and I'll flip to it and we throw it in. So, just keep that in mind. You have a lot of power here to add random things in.
Well, because I can. Love potion number
9. You cut out 99?
It was love potion number 9.
Every time you do that, you cut out. Is it 99?
Okay, my mic cannot pick up my high-pitched voice.
No. So is it 99?
I was saying 9. So I was doing this.
Oh, just 9. Just 9, okay.
Number 9, There's a whole song about it.
Well, this is awkward because it's Our Lady's Child. So it's a bit contradicting to what we're trying to go for here.
Wow.
Yeah, so you've thrown a spanner in the works here. So okay. So we're back to like the whole idea of like a queen bee and stuff. Is there a person who can, or I guess it'd have to be female because the book says so, who can create more people if she so chooses, but they have to like request it from her?
Maybe the willow tree is the person.
Ah, okay. So we've just decided the willow's now a she because it's the lady's child. So.
Well, Willow is a girl's name and not a guy's name, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Willows tend to be associated. Especially, it's kind of like, you know Pocahontas? They have the talking willow.
Yeah, very historically accurate.
Yeah, yes, extremely. Sarcasm. I just feel like we have to note there's sarcasm in there. But yeah, it's something like that with her talking. So the willow can. So the willow not only reborns them, but I guess the willow can also create new ones if it so chooses.
I think maybe it has to be more than just choice. Like, there might have to be some kind of special conditions for her to even be able to, or want to.
True.
Otherwise, it's like, hey, we're running low on population. Oh, okay, well, let me just make more.
Yeah.
That, I think, like, I thought that maybe we could get, like, some kind of conflict, like, maybe some kind of story or something out of this, where the population is running low, and we're having trouble figuring out how to repopulate it. And
look at the willow working.
Whatever causes them to die permanently without a new person being born might, whatever that cause was, is becoming more powerful. Which we still need to figure out what that cause is.
True. You can always leave it up to chance.
Yeah, like maybe it's like you have a 1 in 100, let's say, chance of not coming back.
I mean, you don't actually
but now, all of a sudden, recently, it's become more like a 1 in 5 chance. And at the same time, it just so happened to have this problem where there's something that is actually going around killing people. Maybe it's some kind of illness, maybe some kind of new monster, maybe it's a boomerang flying through the air and hitting people in the skull.
I don't care for the third suggestion that much, but the other two I think are valid ones.
I was trying to come up with ideas, and there's a boomerang hanging on my wall, so that's what came to my mind.
I mean, if we want that, we've got a vine plant that's slowly taking over my room. Make it a plant that type, or like something suffocating the willow, almost, like something attached to it that they don't notice that they can't get rid of.
Ooh, what if the willow tree, each branch represents a person, and if the branch is pruned or dies or falls off, whatever, that person, the person associated with it, also dies. And the way you get more people is through the tree growing more limbs.
Oh, that's
and
actually cool.
Something is now killing the willow tree.
So something's attacking it, like a bug or something.
Yeah, maybe it could be some kind of a bug or the light. I don't know. Trees can get sick.
True, they can. Even magic
maybe the weeds are coming in and choking the tree.
Well, in all these cases, it's just
it's got to be something that the characters would not be able to immediately identify and fix.
Yeah.
It has to be something that's harder for either one or both of those things. Because if they could just look at it and be like, oh, it's these bugs, let's find some pesticide. Here, drink this, Miss Willow.
Oh, it could be something like inside the tree. So you know how these the newborns come out, but like maybe you can't get back in it. So it could be something that's attacking it from the inside out. So they have to figure out how to get inside the tree or be able to like put something inside. Like you can't even see what's wrong with it because you can't get in. So trying to figure out how they can get the willow to let them in so they can take care of her. But
shrinking potion.
Maybe I don't know how. I guess some willows are. What?
I have it. I got an idea.
Yeah.
63.
Oh. Okay. You have to be careful we don't get the same stories. By the way, when you do like numbers that are close to each other. Oh, actually, this one's pretty good. It's the white snake.
Ooh.
So now...
Okay, so... You got this, ancient white snake that lives nearby.
Yeah.
And he's sort of a hermit, but this is an angry hermit who does not like to be disturbed. This is an all-knowing ancient being, and even older than the willow herself. And so you go and approach the snake, and you say, "We need your help, the willow is dying. Why should I help you?" And you say, "I brought you some mice." I don't know. What do you do to convince this ancient?
I do appreciate that you went on like a wise, cunning snake more so than the evil snake causing the whole problem. So I do appreciate you not falling in that trope, because for a second I thought you would. I guess white snake is different. Seems different than like a green snake, which is usually the one associated with evil things. But I haven't a clue what you'd give a snake to, or at least an intelligent snake. Like a normal snake, yeah, mice and eggs and things that it eats would make it happy, but maybe a promise of solitude. Like maybe the snake gets bugged a lot by the people, and the people now promise if they help with the willow, they'll leave it alone for like I don't know, a good 100 years or so.
Maybe, but that seems too easy.
Doesn't it? I bet, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe something, or this could be actually interesting for the story to say, "Hey, we'll leave you with solitude for 100 years. Oh, okay, well, here's what you have to do." And then when that thing doesn't work, suddenly you have to go and approach the snake a second time. A very angry snake. And you have to argue with him, "Your thing didn't work." And then he's all like, I don't care, I was expecting solitude.
It's like, yeah, and we were expecting a healed tree.
Yeah, so, but then again, that still seems too easy.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something more like, I need the soul of someone. You know what? 112.
Okay.
Let's find out what he needs.
Oh, okay, this would be dangerous because there's a lot of people.
We could get a really bizarre world.
Oh my god. Isaac. So,
Yes.
he needs a girl without hands.
Okay, so somebody has to sacrifice their hands.
No, it's gotta be specifically a girl has to sacrifice her hands to the.
Okay.
To, what? Okay.
Okay.
Alright, is this serpent like weird in the sense like it wants them to feel like what it does without having limbs or something? Because there's gotta be a reason he makes this weird request.
Maybe it's he wants maybe he wants an eternal companion who is also a snake, or maybe just a companion, maybe not necessarily an eternal one, but a companion. And the way you start off with that is he has to maybe bite someone's hands off, and then that person turns into a snake to hang out with him until that person dies.
Oh, so now he's requesting that every. So now we've turned this from like a story element to a world building element, because now you have a snake who agrees to help you keep the willow healthy, but you have to sacrifice someone every so often to become a handless human. I guess maybe not fully snake, but he wants the serpent kind of just wants you to be able to relate to it without having like hands.
Maybe. It just seems kind of odd.
Yeah, it does. It does seem a bit odd. Yeah, I agree. But so there's gotta be. So I don't know, or maybe it's like a fate thing. Like he heals the tree, but now if he does now every now and then someone comes in without hands, like they're born without it, and they're now those are chosen to be the snake slaves or servants. I guess would be they're slaves. The servant to the snake to help the snake do whatever the snake commands, like be
okay.
So every now and then you have people who are now sent off to the snake if you're born without hands, and that could be an interesting story if you have someone who doesn't want to be servant to the snake but they're born that way and dealing with that.
Yeah, so now you've got a separate story option where it's you have your main character be somebody born without hands and sent off to the snake, and then somebody comes around to the snake and is like, help us with the willow tree. And now this character without hands is going to somehow save the day.
Oh, yeah, so they send, the snake uses, yeah, I like that. Especially considering I feel like those with disabilities aren't represented in stories enough, especially considering they're just as capable as, they just do things differently. It's pretty much the only thing there, so it's kind of fun to have a story where the hero would be someone just born without hands. And yeah, definitely more heroic than the girl in the story of without hands.
Okay, so what else do we need to world build? We still need to figure out like what is killing the tree.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be a variety of things, and the snake is always the one who knows.
Yeah. So just yeah.
Maybe ancient dead souls from the past in the underworld are coming up with all kinds of various means of killing the tree, and the snake, as this ancient endless barrel of wisdom, is the only one who understands what's happening to the tree. So he'll diagnose the tree because he somehow understands the underworld and its workings.
So it's an interesting idea that the tree would be connected to the underworld, because because it's kind of like a renewal of life, when someone dies they come back type thing, except it's I guess, is it, we need to establish this. Is it like the people are coming back, like just coming back, like same people but no memories, or are they completely new souls?
I was thinking completely new souls, like maybe the people who die for some reason, or like somehow blame the willow tree, or maybe the willow tree is intentionally like killing people after they've lived their life. Maybe they're becoming old and frail and they're not useful to society anymore. They've lived their life. It's time to give someone else a life.
So you're saying now the willow has the power to kill too, as well as create? Like, just turn...
Yes. And every time she kills somebody, she replaces that person. But now these people in the underworld are angry with her for killing them.
So here's an interesting idea of a reason why souls might not be rebirthed. Maybe they're only rebirthed if the willow kills them. So if they die by a means like unbeknown to the willow, like the willow didn't choose for them to die, that didn't want them to die that way or that time, then their soul's lost to her.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So maybe the willow killing them is sort of a form of punishment or execution.
I mean,
where she just like prunes her own branches or whatever.
And, yeah,
grows a new one.
That's another interesting idea. Or like it's kind of just like a branch is getting old and she's ready and she can feel a new one growing, so it's time to cut them. So like
either one works.
Or yeah, and the idea that a branch might be bugging her, like if you're treating people badly or not being a great person, your branch in the willow is actually like either trying to overgrow other branches or being cruel to other branches, and she can feel that, and so she cuts you off then.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like your soul is connected to the branch. Whatever you do, the branch mirrors.
Yeah, which means that the willow probably looks like it's doing some funky dances 24/7, which could be fun to watch.
Okay, and something else I was thinking of. What if her root system actually goes so far and deep into the ground that it reaches the underworld, and that her root system might be a way that she sends souls to the underworld. Like when you die, your soul travels into her limb that she broke, and then is shot through the trunk and then down the roots and is spat out into the underworld.
Oh, and also probably to balance off of that, like new souls actually come out of the branch, like maybe they grow like a fruit or a leaf or something and drop down.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have it be like a fruit or a nut or something. I just thought about something. You have something where it falls down and a person comes out of it, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be a very tiny person.
I mean, we've never established how big this willow was.
I'm going to say it's a massive willow.
It's got to be massive. Like, you could live in it if you wanted to.
Yeah. Assuming she'd be okay with you carving her face out.
I don't think she would. I don't think she'd
Probably
appreciate
not.
that. No. I don't think you're allowed to live in her, but she's the size where you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't.
Okay, so the fruit falls and a person comes out of it, or alternatively, a nut falls and a smaller nut comes out of it.
What? What? Why? Is this a world of nuts now?
No, because some people are nuts.
Oh, that was a bad joke. Like, just
apparently, I was hoping for a laugh.
No.
So this is what I was talking about earlier, where she's put up with my humor for longer than humanly possible.
Yeah, it's just. I see where you were trying to go with the joke. I just don't think it was done well.
If I had worded it differently, it probably would have landed.
Yeah, it just needed a bit of help.
Okay, anyway, so let's say it's a pink fruit, because I like the color pink for a birthing fruit.
Okay. We can go with that.
Or we could we could go to a whole bunch of random numbers until we find a story with a color in the name.
I mean, say a number and see what happens, so we can see what we can come up with it.
Okay, so we'll start off with, drum roll please. 1.
What's the first story in this book? Why, I should remember. So it's the Frog King, or King Henry.
That is not. a color.
Yeah, well, frogs tend to be green.
Okay, we can go with the color of the frog.
Yeah, a
So
little green.
fruits. So very underripe apple.
There are green apples, right?
There are, but most of them are red or a mix of red and green.
Yeah, but there are green apples.
There are. So it's really just an underripe anything. It's just about any fruit out there.
I like the idea that it drops almost like whatever they come out of is like a foretelling of the type of person they're going to be.
Okay, so some of them would be nuts.
Yes, I guess some of them would be. But, yeah, so kind of going back to the Tinkerbell example, how every fairy gets chosen, like, the day they're born, whatever gift they'll have. So the fruit, I guess there's not much meaning, but some of them might be subtle meaning, some of them might be really in depth, or which could lead to some insults, such as people saying, of course you'd say that, you were born from a nut, and then, like, walking away and being like, of course,
okay,
yeah.
So we got sour apples, sweet peaches,
I mean, you're not limited to just things that grow on trees either. Like, you could probably have different flowers, different peas and lettuce.
Yeah. Strawberries will go to the person who invents the bendy straw.
Yeah, okay, that's an interesting association. Yeah, we could spend all day like pairing up fruit and plants to people, but I'm not sure how interesting that would be. It's just like another fun element in this world that you get to play with, and you get to make a bunch of like jokes. So it could be the comedic factor or something that you can use for foreshadowing. So using food and stuff to foreshadow what happens in the story, stuff like that. It's just a cool tool that the story lets you have in your own world creating.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
Different
fruits for different foretellings, personalities, characters.
I think it's cool.
Okay, so what kinds of attacks would the people in the underworld be unleashing upon the tree?
Mm.
Also, I'm going to assume that there's like a heaven or something for the people that the tree doesn't kill.
Oh, you mean the ones who,
ones who the tree doesn't sever from the limb.
Yeah, so they're the ones who don't get, like, reincarnated, or whatever it is, or their soul traded in for a new soul.
Yeah.
I don't know where those people go. I guess heaven kind of makes sense, because the tree drags you down. You know, this tree is starting
Random page.
Okay.
We will go with Route 66.
You really like the 60s. And the it's another snake one. It's the 3 snake leaves.
3 snake leaves.
I told you the titles in this book are weird.
Okay, so this could work. Now we've got a situation where there's another type of snake, and also it's leaves. So maybe they go into some kind of a heaven where they are turned into snakes, and this could give us the origin of the white snake.
Oh,
Maybe?
So like the white snake. So the white snake was someone who chose to come down to help the people, and just needs
maybe
servants to help them.
Snake.
Yeah.
Maybe he was like the first snake.
Yeah, so this snake is actually real. I feel like we're slowly, as this continues, we're making the tree seem more and more evil, and the snake seem more and more... Like, they're slowly switching roles, I'm noticing. Which, honestly, is kind of like a fun story element, is when you go through and you have people's assumptions, like Willow Tree, the mother tree, this is a very good combination in our heads, and then a snake who's cunning and has servants that you have to like give to him and stuff. It seems very evil, and then suddenly as you're going through the story you realize, oh wait, that tree is taking its power from hell, sending people down there, forcing them to like give up their soul for a new soul whenever she feels like it. Meanwhile, the snake is keeping people alive, making sure that the reincarnation still happens, is giving wisdom, and is making his servants into actual heroes and like giving them the ability to do amazing things, despite.
He is actually.
Yeah.
He's actually also helping to save the tree. Maybe that could be because he knows if the tree dies, everybody else dies.
Yeah, the tree is neutral. I think. I think it started out we were like this is a really good thing, but I think as we're going, the tree is definitely a neutral. Like it has its purpose. She knows what she's doing, but she's not exactly good. She's not exactly evil. She's just an important element who has a lot of souls very upset with her because she's trapped them in hell.
Yeah, me likey.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so these other snakes, the leaf snakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Perhaps when people die naturally, maybe they go into the snake heaven. Maybe they become. It's weird to think I die and become a snake. I now no longer have opposable thumbs and I'm crawling on the ground all the time. That seems like a real downgrade.
Well, we know that it's okay. So it's the snake and the 3 leaves, or the 3-leaf snake. So the idea, I mean, we could have like a trinity, quotation marks on trinity. So we have the 3 snakes that are in charge of the gate of heaven, and they let you in if you've died of a natural cause, or the tree has deemed you worthy to die naturally and come. So, and they could just be the keepers of heaven, so the keepers of your soul, make sure you're always comfortable, having a good time.
Okay, so maybe like one is supposed to be, I will let you in if you died of natural causes. The other one will say, I will let you in if you died by a snake. Like maybe the white snake for some reason killed you so that you could go to heaven because maybe he saw. Maybe there was something wrong where he knew if I don't kill you now, you're going to wind up in the underworld.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd snake, maybe it's I keep you out if you die. No, because the
tree knows this. Yeah.
So the 3rd one might be I'll let you in if I don't know. Maybe the 3rd one just like watches over people.
Ah, yeah. I mean, maybe the 3rd one is the white snake. So
okay.
it's white-leaved, so it's a white-leaved snake, and then you have, then I guess I kind of like the idea of just the other 2. One is if you died of old age, maybe, and the other one is if you've died of something else, like unforeseen by the tree. So there's 2 snakes. And so the one, if you've died of old age, obviously you've lived a good enough life that the willow never cut you out and you get straight in. This guy's just like, you're here! Meanwhile, maybe the 3rd snake is one who puts you on trial and, like, goes through your life to see if you're good enough. This is so...
I thought that was the role of the willow tree.
No, so the willow has the ability to cut you off if you get bad enough. But there's some people who are like on the line, or they're not that bad, but they're also like they shouldn't go to heaven. I don't know. I'm not someone I'm very uncomfortable with this whole idea, because it's very against my nature to talk about stuff with people and things like this way. But the willow is if like someone starts committing murder or arson, and meanwhile this snake might judge, of course, someone who's just, because there are some people who are just nasty, like they make mean comments, they're never nice, they don't participate. It's not enough for the willow to be like, okay, I need to get rid of you and kill you, but at the same time you might still not be enough for this 3rd snake to be like, yeah, you can come. Mostly because they'll make, if it's it judges if it's a person that would make other people in the heaven unhappy for them to be there. Like, they'll just be negative and they won't be nice and they'll ruin heaven.
Okay, so the way I'm imagining this whole judgment thing going down is you reach the gates of snake heaven.
Yep.
And the snake slithers up to you, and maybe he's on a pedestal or something, or he's standing up on his tail so that he's at eye level with you.
Yeah.
And he stares into your eyes so that he can stare into your soul, goes through your life, and then if he deems you worthy, you get in. If he deems you unworthy, he quickly lunges at you, coils his body around your neck, and then drags you into a hole at hyperspeed and slams you into the ground in the underworld.
Yeah, if you want it to be that traumatic, sure. Yes, that's what he does.
If you're going to the underworld, you're going all out.
Yes. That's just how it works. It's a fun time. But I'm sure heaven's nice.
Snake heaven.
That's just how the book decided. You were the one who kept sticking in the 60s so this book is it kind of organizes itself by like subjects. So you're the one who stuck yourself in the snake section.
Okay, so I'm gonna give us a number, and it's gonna be something, whatever it is. We aren't allowed to redo it. Whatever it is, we're sticking this thing into heaven.
Got it.
I'm gonna give us a random number. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
502.
Gotcha. 500 and... Oh, too far. Not far enough. Oh, you were so close to the turnip, and I'm disappointed. Instead, we get the donkey. Seriously, though, the 2 stories over is called the turnip.
Nope, we're not allowed to use those.
No, it's a donkey, so we have a donkey instead.
Of all the things, we wind up with a donkey.
Yeah, what are we doing with the donkey?
Okay, so gotta fit this in here somehow. So, in Snake Heaven, you can ride donkeys.
I mean, we gotta do better than that. That's just sad.
The donkeys are the favorite food of this world, and people have endless donkeys to eat. I don't know. Maybe you become a donkey instead of a snake.
No, I don't like that. I don't want to become a donkey. Look,
it sounds like a downgrade.
Look, we've already made the Holy Trinity a snake. Can we not? Let's not. Let's not turn ourselves into donkeys to boot it up. I don't know. Maybe so. Oh, you know what? Their donkeys are like carrier animals. Maybe they're the ones that carry the souls to heaven. So
okay.
Donkeys now, they're kind of like have now become a sacred animal to these people, because they're associated with carrying your souls to heaven if you're good enough. So I guess.
So now you got the story of somebody trying to sneak his way into heaven by hitching a ride on a donkey.
Or making friends with a donkey, or something like he hates people, he's terrible to people, he wants to do horrible things to the people, but he thinks if he's nice enough to this donkey, he can get himself into heaven. Or at least to the front gate, and then maybe sneak his way in or something.
Yeah. Just don't let the snake look into your soul.
Yeah,
I was thinking maybe what it is the snake looks into your soul and says, oh, okay, you're good, hop on a donkey. And maybe the donkey, climbs up a mountain or something, and the donkeys are the only ones that can climb up the mountain.
Yeah.
Anybody else, maybe it's the higher you climb, the heavier you get. And so nobody can climb that high up the mountain.
Oh, yeah, so that'd be interesting.
If you ride the donkey, it can carry you up, no problem.
Yeah, donkeys are magical creatures now. Yep.
And, yeah, donkeys are magic.
So are snakes, so...
Okay, I think that works.
I like that. I like the idea of the donkeys being the one that carries up the souls. It's weird, but, no one can fault you for it.
Yeah, that works a lot better than I thought it was going to. When you said a donkey, I was like, oh no, maybe this was a mistake. But it makes for a more entertaining podcast.
It does. I think it's really fun having random podcasts. This is my version of your Narwhal world. I wanted to do something like the Narwhal world. I'm like, how can I do that? I'm like, oh wait, I got it. Random page numbers in a book. What's the book with the weirdest titles? I'm like, wait, Brothers Grimm, because we're gonna have to be ending off soon, so I don't think we have time for any more. But I wanna tell you the name of a story I really, really, really wish we got, because it's so good. I have to remind it's the mouse, the bird, and the sausage.
The mouse, the bird, and the sausage.
It is the greatest fairy tale of all time. It's about a talking bird, a talking mouse, and a talking sausage.
Huh.
Yeah, they live together and they each have their chores. And then when they decide, you know what, let's switch up chores, they end up all dying because of it. And that's the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I have never heard this story before.
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite fairy tales because it's got a moral, but it's just so random and ridiculous. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So the mouse ends up burning to death. The bird ends up drowning in a well, and the sausage gets eaten by a dog.
You know, we still never came up with actual ideas as to how the underworld people attack the willow tree. So let's just spitball some random ones.
Okay.
Rot, decay, blight, bugs, and lack of water.
All good things that can have like a farther reaching effect as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it affects the shrubbery and greenery around her as well.
Yeah, because it takes quite a bit to kill a city-sized willow tree.
Yeah, so while everything else is turning brown and crumbling, she isn't feeling good, but she's still alive.
Yeah, and now we have to send our handless adventurers to either the underworld or to other places to get cures, and they go on epic adventures
And that is where everybody else can world build it. Anybody who wants to write the story can world build it, because that is endless world building possibilities.
Yes, and there's like other sections of this world that you can world build as well, other than the serpents. But I do think the serpents and the willow are the key things about this world are our trinity of serpents and our Mother Willow. It's
I will say, though,
weird combo.
This is not a world that I have a desire to write in, because it just seems like there's too many areas of world building to actually explore in a single story. So you'd have to write a whole bunch of stories for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be fun, like, to dabble in it. Because eventually we still need to do that. We still need to sit down and, like, at least try out a story and, like, let you guys get to listen to it. Maybe instead of a podcast 1 week, we read to you one of our stories. Just to see, because we still are debating whether we want to do, like, that paid subscription thing where you guys can pay to read stories we make based off of the worlds we podcast.
But we need a following for that.
We really do. So
hey, if you have a bunch of writer fans who are huge world builders, or maybe even people who are not all that good at world building but want to learn more on how to world build, send them here. Which, by the way, I'm thinking we should do a special episode at some point that is how to world build. Not us world building, but just talk about how to world build.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I could talk for an entire hour about it.
Yeah, same. I also could. Between the two of us, I think we'd bounce off pretty well in a topic like that. So that's definitely something else. Maybe like a once a month series, like we trade in once a month where we do a proper world building. And we pick like a theme that's involved with world building and we talk about it for an hour. And then the other 3 are us building worlds. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know, because we can do that. Because I think we have plenty of topics we can fill up years of content with. So
I think that maybe one of the first things that we should do is just a basic, just standard how to world build, like just the basics in the beginnings, like for just any world.
I mean, I'm up for doing that next week if you are.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, it's also, I believe, the first of the month, so we can make it a thing. The first Sunday of every month, we do a proper world building. Look at us, timing things properly. By chance, it was as random as the pages we picked in this book. So
wait, you're saying the first Sunday of the month, but isn't the first Sunday of the month when this episode is coming out?
Is it? Oh, you're right. It's not.
Because we record these a few days before the release.
Never mind, we're not that good. Okay, I say we do it the second Sunday of the month because we have to. But then it'll be the first. Yeah, but then it'll be the first Sunday of every month afterwards.
Okay, assuming we
Especially considering next month has 4 weeks before it's the first Sunday again. So we should be
that.
Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna come. It'll come out the August 8th for those. For some of you, it's already out. For some of you, it's not. So keep an eye out for it. And yeah, we'll just be going over a basic of world building, and then after that, each first Sunday of the month, we will be going over bigger, smaller, like little detailed topics and talking about those. But if you're not interested in that and you prefer us just talking about building worlds and then goofing off in the way we do, don't worry, we'll still be majority be doing that, because I love that, and I think our podcast is really unique in how we do that.
By the way,
yeah,
in case you didn't hear in a previous episode, we are on YouTube now. We now have our podcast on YouTube and just about every podcast site you can get.
Pretty much, except for the ones that denied me and didn't tell me, so.
Yeah, I don't think we're on Apple, are we?
I don't know. I think Apple is so confusing and complicated to get onto, it's just not worth it.
We got Spotify.
We have Spotify.
Anchor.
We do.
What are some other podcast things?
We have some weird ones I'd never heard of until we signed up to this to Anchor, so...
We got the weird stuff that you may be subscribed to.
I think we're on Amazon Podcasts too. That was a separate one, but it was really easy for me. We are on Google Podcasts as well, yes. And of course YouTube, where it's really easy to leave comments. So.
Yes. I'm sure 99.9% of you have a Google account, so you can go and leave a comment. We love comments.
So far, we've only gotten one.
Yes, you could even give us world building ideas. We would appreciate it.
We would, yeah. Give suggestions, but if you got
a good enough idea, send it our way. Maybe we'll make a world out of it.
Yeah, definitely. We are up for that. I look forward to having more community involvement soon, but this is all we've got time for. We've filled our hour with wonderful Grimm titles. So if any of those titles interested you, just pick up a Grimm Complete Fairy Tales. They are the best. They're amazing. They're so ridiculous. But we are going to be saying goodbye, and we will be seeing you guys next week for some actual world-building discussion. So hope to see you guys then.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Go around that donkey, down to the honky tonky. It's gonna get funky, funky. Aww.